It's 2025. We still can't give people clean water around the world. We have enough money to feed everybody in the world. And it doesn't think like nothing good has ever come of war. And we're still doing it. And it's like, why is this still happening? Like we can literally get in group text, like all the leaders in like 1 minute and like solve the world's problems if they wanted to. Instead, we're in these wars.
Buckle up for a new episode of the S.H.E podcast, the show where we have real and raw conversations to inspire and empower you to be seen and heard so you can create balance in everything you want in your life and business. I'm your host, Heidi Schock, and I'm excited to walk alongside of you on this journey of being seen, heard, and empowered. Welcome to the S.H.E podcast. Be seen, be heard, be empowered. I'm your host, Heidi Schock. And I love just chatting with these amazing women that I have on here. And my guest today is nothing short of incredible. And I love, she's all blinged out. I'm a bling girl. So when she showed up in the bling, I'm like, oh, you're my people. So without further ado, welcome Christina Hawatmeh to the show, to the podcast.
So excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. Before we start talking and chatting, Christina, I'm going to give everybody a little bit of background about you, and then we'll dive right in.
Perfect.
So Christina Hawatmeh is the founder and CEO of Scopio, which stands for Scope It Out, and that is SCOP.io, and is empowering artists to share and monetize their images instantly. She is named top 10 influential women to look out for in 2023, top entrepreneurs to follow by New York Finance, and has been recognized by leading publications such as CNN, Entrepreneur, and Forbes 30 Under 30. She's the author of The Year Time Stopped, The Global Pandemic in Photos, featured at the Grammys, and winner of the Mind Award, available in all major retailers. Christina is currently working on her second book titled If Women, featuring art and photography contributed by artists from all around the world, reimagining a world where women have to redesign it. So where women have redesigned it. So Christina, can you share just a little bit about you? Like, what inspired you to start your business? Is this a journey that you just like knew you were passionate about, or is this something that's evolved over time?
Thank you for having me. I think a lot of people have ambitions in life and they feel that they're meant for something great, but they don't know exactly what that is. I feel that I'm one of those people. I always had huge ambitions, huge dreams, and I kind of felt like that glimmer that there was something a little different about me. Luckily, kind of got that curiosity to keep exploring what that could be. And unfortunate for every type of like work that I would go into that I'd walk in and be like, no, this isn't fast paced enough. It's not interesting enough. I felt that need to disrupt kind of everywhere I was. And then I luckily ran into tech and AI about 10 years ago at Columbia University, where I was doing my master's. Before that, I had gone to college in DC. I lived around the world. And when I was there, I just became like dumbfounded watching this TV screen that would have these images and it would be like breaking news event, like here's a picture from Twitter or Instagram. And I was like, wow, like our whole lives are going out on social media and we're spending so much time picking that perfect photo that we want to post. And all of this content has value. And then you look at the internet and it's like this non-changing behemoth of like the same types of content, the kind of like top down information. And I knew that there was so much disruption. And for somebody that wanted to create change, I felt that this would be a space that I could create the most change and create a legacy or some sort of dent that could impact the world.
I love that. So can you tell us more about Scopio, what it is and who's it for?
Sure. So we have on average 15,000 images sitting on our phone. So many of us are creative. We can sketch for hours or we take beautiful photos. And that just kind of sits there. I wanted a place within 3 minutes that people could start selling that. Now you can do that in our app, in the Scopio app or on our marketplace. And not just that, be able to be discovered for who you are, what you're good at, and take interest of companies that are browsing now more than 400 million times have browsed different types of people to work with. So we've flattened that. You don't need an agent. You don't need like high level connections. Scopio can find the person in a village in in the remotes of somewhere in Latin America or Africa or the Philippines or wherever you are, and you have a chance to work with some of the biggest names in the world on photography, illustration, video editing, graphic design, just like specializing in the visual arts because we're in the most creative generation in history. There used to be like Leonardo da Vinci and a few other names, and we go to Italy and we spend all our life savings going and seeing these like three great artists of all time. And today we have millions of these people that are showing us their art on a daily basis. And so we've never been more creative in the visual arts. And like just encountering that is amazing on a daily basis and who these people are and how talented they are.
Yeah, I think it's so fascinating what you're doing. And I love that you brought up this is the not the first time I'm talking to Christina, just for full transparency. I spoke with her earlier today on another podcast, and I invited her to this podcast because I thought that she could just provide so much insight, and her journey is fascinating. And she mentioned something on there about her deep the curiosity and how she follows that curiosity. And I think that's an important piece for the ladies on here that listen to this podcast to hear from you, because that is what led you to where you are now and also into writing your second book. I'm sure that led you into writing your first book as well, but I know for a fact that it led you specifically to your second book. So I want to learn more about, you got this idea, you were curious, you saw these photos and these images, and you knew you wanted to create an impact in the world. Like, what are some of the challenges or fears that you experienced to get started? Or were you just one of those people that we all aspire to be that are like, I'm jumping in, no fear, I got this, and I'm gonna run with it?
I hate to say it, but I don't get that scared.
I love that.
Um,
You're
and
one of
and
those people that we inspire to be.
look, I'll tell you, maybe psychologically, listening to how I think about it could help you not be scared too, if you're listening to this. Okay. So I have met a lot of kind of like big shots. When I was younger, I would go to these like leadership programs and then I would go meet like Colin Powell. And then I kind of like was around all these exceptional people by me being like really into leadership. So I started at a young age meeting these people, and I thought they had some sort of key, something that would make them so special. And the more I kind of traveled the world or interacted, I realized that nobody was so special. Like they just had these jobs, and they just made it somehow. So I always knew that there wasn't something that it was missing inside of me. I never had to be special. I didn't have to have anything. Like I just needed to do whatever I needed to do to become that kind of person or get that thing. Um, so I started off in the world like that as I was trying to do whatever I wanted to do. And then when I discovered like tech, and then somebody told me like your idea is really interesting, you should meet engineers, and sent me over to the most intense lab in all of Columbia University, the AI lab, which now probably is one of the most special places in the world. Before, people didn't really know what AI was, and this is 10 years ago. And I walked in, I'm like 24 years old, and I'm like, hey, can somebody help me get pictures from social media? I want to like tell you if they're really from that person or they've just been shared around or they're memes. And then I want to let people buy them. So luckily, like the second part of this kind of no fear is that when I find something interesting and I share it, oftentimes I get reception back. So I thought it was really interesting that we could get these photos from social media using AI. At the time, it was like hashtags, and then we built this AI crawler that would collect all these images. I remember we collected 60 million on certain hashtags, and then I would organize them. I found other people that thought that was cool too. So I felt that, and the same thing with my books or whatever happens, my curiosity gets other people to kind of give me reception. Had I walked into that lab and them be like, this is so stupid, leave, I probably also would have gotten motivated to find another lab and ask for help somewhere else. A lot of the times when you're convinced with something, people will help. And the second part of this, which I really want to sink into people if they really are afraid, is that the world is a completely unfair place. I really don't believe in imposter syndrome because I know how messed up the institutions are that are around us that are like there are real limitations for people to succeed. For example, I have a lot of Black-owned businesses that use imagery from our site. I know the business owners. I can tell you their journey is 100 times harder. You have to be in business for 2 to 3 years for a bank to give you a loan. Imagine being a woman who's just starting a business. 1972 was the first time they gave women access to credit cards. Before that, we had to have guarantees from a man, like our brother or our dad, and we couldn't take any loans out. So if you want to think from 1972 till now, like there's a lot of small things that are happening that are stopping us. So if we just accept that the world is an unfair place and we know that there's nothing wrong with us, it's just unfair, then you're able to navigate through that and you don't take it personally. You know that these systems are already hard. So I think when people think of imposter syndrome, like, why am I in this room? Just thinking, no, like since 1972 was the first time you're allowed to be in the room. And then now it's just like kind of the slow drip in and it adds a little humor to it and it makes it easier and to be less afraid. So now when I think I'm the first, I don't feel that's weird. I feel excited because I'm like, my grandma didn't get to do this. My mama, it was so hard for her. And here I am. Like, this is awesome. I'm the first person that gets to do this. Like, good for me.
Yeah, you're really creating a massive ripple effect and you're inspiring other women to take action too. And the one thing that I'm hearing for you that stands out is you took action. So for those of you who may have fear, right? It's like take action, be curious, and then take action on that curiosity, which is completely what Christina did. And I love what you said. Like, had they said no, like luckily they said yes, they loved it, at Columbia. But had they said no, you already said like, I'll just go somewhere else. And that's what Walt Disney did. He got how many 150 no's or something from different banks. I don't even know what the number is, but it was a large amount of numbers that with all the banks that he went to. And he was a man, right? And he got
Mm.
so many no's, but he didn't stop. Had he stopped at the first no, we wouldn't have Disney World, Disneyland, any of those amusement parks that we have today. And I think they're one of the people clients that you work with as well. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's fascinating everything that you shared. And I was talking to somebody, a woman who runs a business, and she was sharing that 24 or 25 trillion dollars in wealth are through women right now. And there is 30 trillion more dollars coming that are going to be coming into the hands of women. So it's things are shifting. So yes, since 1972 was the first time that women could get a credit card, or I think even open a bank account on their own
Yeah.
as
And take
well.
out a loan. Yeah.
When we look back, it hasn't been a lot of time, but there's been a lot of change and shifting, and it's even shifting even more. So now is the amazing time. It's like really the time of the woman to really rise, like I hate to say rise up, but yeah, rise up, be seen, be heard, and really step into what you want to create. And Christina is the perfect example of doing that. Luckily, she didn't really have the fear. She's been around this for a long time, but at the same time, she wasn't going to take no for an answer. And you're proud of where you're going and where you're heading. And now you're changing not only the generations following in your family, but you're also making a ripple effect for generations to come outside of your family by showing up as you are. Let's talk about your book. You got curious. I know you got curious about something which inspired your book. So can you talk us through that story and journey?
Yeah, I think while I don't have fear, I have like a chip on my shoulder or like anger, I guess. So if somebody thought my idea was stupid, like back in the day, I would be like, "You're an idiot. You obviously can't see how great this is." And that was like, oh, it's a weird kind of way, but that also inspired this book. So I was like reading all the news in the world and I was like, it's 2025. We still can't give people clean water around the world. We have enough money to feed everybody in the world. And it doesn't think like nothing good has ever come of war. And we're still doing it. And it's like, it feels that it's just kind of over. Like, why is this still happening? Like we can literally get in group text, like all the leaders in like 1 minute and like solve the world's problems if they wanted to. Instead, we're in these wars. So I've never sat with women where women said, "Oh, women would never do that," or "If only women," or "If only I had the power, I would never do that," and if only I had the money, I would do like not do that. But I thought it would be interesting to think like, what would you do? Like, if I gave Heidi $10 million right now for her business, like, what would she do with it? Or if I told you you could change gun policies in America and there would be no kid will ever be affected by gun violence. Like, could you do that? What would you do as a woman? So the idea was that these artists from around the world, all these amazing people on Scopio, I have 35,000 of them. I thought, what if they tell it? Like my role in this company and is like the just like providing the platform, and then the stories are so rich that I'm just kind of in the background. And I wanted it to be like this with this book where all these people could have different ideas, like to cure cancer, and the death penalty, stop gun violence. Some are silly, like women want to stop aging. Others are about like people who they've done IVF a million times and they never got a chance to have a kid. We have 14-year-olds, 80-year-old men, 90-year-old women, and everyone has a different idea. And you can see a gorgeous image or art piece. And together, after we read 88 of these stories, we will have imagined a world run by women.
As I know it's in process. When's it coming out and how can we get it?
It will be out spring of 2026 next year. If you can go to Scopio, scop.io, and there's a link to ifwomen.scopio. You can sign up there, ifwomen.scop.io, and you can sign up for the pre-order list, but it will be in every major retailer around the world, published by HarperCollins. You can also look anywhere you turn your head.
Yeah, you're going to want to get this book. When we were talking earlier, you had mentioned about a little boy's point of view. So she's talked to so many different people and gotten so many different point of views on if women. And it's interesting to hear the different views. Like if you speak to a woman at a certain age, what they would say, a woman at a different age, what they would say, a man, what they would say, a little boy, what they would say. So can you share what you shared with me earlier about just like what one of the little boys that you talked to said?
Oh my gosh. So I
What that
visited
was?
a fourth grade classroom, and it was a huge heated debate between the boys and the girls, and it was so cute. So they went back and forth and they kind of got into agreement that women wouldn't cause war. And that's the one thread that I've noticed throughout all the stories is I haven't heard a man say like, oh yeah, women would continue wars, but they do say they basically disagree with everything else. So the kids got into that and then they started talking about missiles and they got really into missiles. And then they said if women ruled the world, they would take all the missiles and they would replace them as shampoo bottles because all that women care about is their hair. And so
I
what
love
we
that.
did is what was like how this story kind of flew out was that we had one of the high school girls draw this idea. The boy is an Iraqi refugee, and so it makes sense that that was his kind of idea of the world. The high schooler drew the shampoo bottle, then we gave it to this incredible artist that I've worked with on like a famous movie. And I said, how cute is this story? Like the art is not where it could be. What do you think about it? So she actually took the original shampoo bottles that the girl had drawn and turned it into literally a Disney movie. It's so beautiful. And
Wow.
I don't know what can come of it, but I think each piece, like the gun control piece, like there's different things where I really want to be able to push like the idea forward, using the art as, that individual concept. But you can see here how one kind of opening led into where the end product was.
I love that so much. So, you're getting to showcase a little girl's artwork, right? Or a young, not a little girl, but young, high school student's artwork based on this young class of students, fourth graders, and this
Yeah.
little boy's idea of what, is important to women based on his experience, which is fantastic. And you just get to see the beauty and the innocence of the child mind. And I hope that resonates with you listening. Like, Christina talked earlier, and you basically what I got from it was about our worthiness. Sometimes we can feel like we're not worthy, right? So that fear will show up like imposter syndrome. It's not that we're not worthy, it's that there's some messed up stuff out there. And it's, that their problem, not our problem. So you're good as you are, you're perfect as you are. And if you can go back to your young child and tell them that and let them just see you in the eyes of that your little child would see you, I guarantee you would tear up and you'd want to hug yourself. And I think that's just really beautiful. And I love that you're bringing all of that up today. Tell us how we can connect with you because I'm tearing up just even going there with it with this conversation, which I didn't expect to do. But
Oh.
for those women that are listening and they're like, I want to learn more about Christina, how can they connect with you? How can they reach out to you?
Yeah, I'm most active on LinkedIn. You can find me by searching my name, Christina Hawatmeh, Hawatmeh. You can also find me on all the social channels or visit our website at scop.io or Instagram at Scopio Images. Maybe you'll find that image that I was talking about scrolling through there.
Yeah.
I want to make everybody like kind of jump up and down and remember that life should be fun and everything that you're doing is a culmination of your experience in the world. And as far as we know, we only have one life. So it's like, what do you want in that life? Is there anything you can do to make it more fun, more interesting for you? And yeah, and then just like you said earlier, not think about what people are thinking about you or what they might say about you, because trust me, when you do something great, everyone is like really inspired, and then maybe we'll take a step forward.
Absolutely. And I was telling you, Christina, earlier in our last conversation that and for those of you listening, I have a 16-year-old daughter and a 14-year-old son. And my daughter loves to take photos. She does it on her camera, professional camera, and she also does it on her phone. And I'm trying to get her to put her photography out there and spend more time doing it because she takes beautiful photos. So I'm going to be sending her over to Scopio. And I share that with all of you because I want you to do the same. There's a lot of, I know that you had mentioned to me, Christina, that you work with teenagers and children who are putting their work out there as well. So this is an opportunity to give, to not only share the platform with your family, but also get your kids involved. And you never know, like Christina shared, which you validated me completely because you said the average phone has 15,000 photos. And people look at my phone, they're like, oh my gosh, Heidi, how many photos do you have? Like, I'm not the only one. So it's good to know that completely validated me and made me feel good about, okay, I'm not a hoarder on my phone. But use this, go to the platform, check it out, and share it with your kids. You never know what inspires them to get creative. And I think that's something that we're starting to lack as we get older, as we kind of lose our creativity because we can take ourselves too seriously at times. We're so focused on the day in, day out of, we got to earn, we got to pay the bills, we got to do this, we have responsibilities. And this is a great reminder to come back to your inner child and get your kids involved if you have them and bring yourself back to creativity and getting out there and enjoying life and being part of it. Christina, I have a couple of questions for you that I didn't share with you that might be a little surprising, but it's just some fun things. No, nothing crazy. But is there a fun fact about Christina that we wouldn't know by hearing you here today, seeing you on social media, checking out the website or reading the book? Is there a little behind the scenes about Christina that might be surprised to know?
Oh my gosh. I think a fun fact about me is that I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri. I think that surprises people a lot, but I love like I was raised in the Midwest and my parents are immigrants, so I had a very interesting upbringing that way. Feel that I have a lot of fun facts. That's like the main obvious one.
Yeah, and they're immigrants from Jordan you were sharing with me, which I don't think I've ever met somebody from Jordan. So this is in this
Oh,
that's really fun fact for me to know about you. Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just visited the baptism site where Jesus got baptized. That's in the Jordan River.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so
lots
cool.
of.
See, there's another fun fact we just pulled out of it. There you go. Okay, another question before we wrap up is if you could have lunch with anyone, alive or deceased, famous, political, whoever, it doesn't matter, who would that be and why?
I recently played this game, and what I had come up with was my grandmother.
Oh,
So somebody had asked me on another podcast, and they were like, "Who is your role models?" And I feel that I gave them all up. Like I don't really have role models in the sense where I look at like Oprah and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like I would love to meet her." I'm just like she's great, but I don't have that urge. But the idea is we all want to know the most about ourselves as we can in this world. And I think so it's better to look from where we are, and so I thought, okay, I want to know like where I'm from, or like just like I said, I'm the first to do all these things. Like I would have want to know like what she would think of, like what my grandmother would think about that. So yeah, I would go. She had 11 children. She died in childbirth.
oh.
When she was younger, she went to a French, like a nun school, and she would come home. Her brother would rip up her homework. So I always thought, like, who is this lady? And I would love to talk with her and see if, what we would talk about.
I love that answer. That's so special. Oh, my
Or
heart's
maybe, or
warming.
maybe, or maybe something like even more historic, like Jesus. Like now that we brought up the Jordan River, I'd be like, so, like, tell me, like, is this what's happening? Like, is this true? Like, is everybody?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I think that could also, but then I feel like if I knew the truth, it would be hard to be a human again. Like,
yeah, to
people are
keep
gonna think
going.
you're crazy, lock you up.
Sometimes less information is a little better for us, like less is more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so grandma and Jesus. Okay, they're equal there. I love that. I love that. Maybe Jesus is second compared to grandma. We love
I'm
we
too scared. I'm too scared to know the truth of humanity if it's Jesus or if it's something else. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this has been amazing, Christina. Thank you so much for your time. We will have all of Christina's information inside the show notes to reach out to her. You can read her full bio inside of there as well, but definitely go connect with Christina. She's amazing. Go check out Scopio, scop.io. Again, bring your kids there if you have that. Like, this is a great, go see all the beauty that's out there. She literally is connected. She's brought in 100 creatives from 190 countries. You're going to see things that you would have never been able to see anywhere else. And it's going to open up your eyes and give you appreciation for those other cultures, for the beauty that's in those other places around the world that you didn't even know about. So I love what you're creating, Christina. Keep going, keep doing it. Uh, Keep us posted on the book so we can help you promote it when it comes out and get on that waiting list. Where can they go for the waiting list?
you can go to our website and there'll be a link directly there, or ifwomen.scop.io.
Perfect.
You can always send me a message if you were inspired by this. I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're watching us on YouTube, drop her a note, say hi, let her know you heard her here, and then also subscribe so we can support our speakers and our guests and share them with more people. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform and you can leave a review, please leave us 5 stars. It helps us empower other women, more women, through our inspiring guests and their journeys and their stories. Christina, thank you again for being here. It's been such a pleasure. I've got to the joy of talking with you twice today. So this has been a great day.
We're
Uh,
friends now.
yeah, but yes, absolutely. I will definitely be connecting and following you and checking out Scopia. I can't wait for my daughter to get home so I can go like show it to her and my son as well. He's into the theater side of things, so I think he'll love it too. Thank you
Sign
for
me up.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for listening us today on the Bishi podcast. We will see you on the next episode. In the meantime, be empowered to be seen and heard.